Introducing first, weighing 389.9 IQ points from the hallowed halls of Harvard, the educator, Christopher Spratt.
We have just come off from a comedic roasting by Vinny Favorito, and somebody who does not have the ego to handle that kind of roasting, I imagine, would be Christopher Spratt, known as the educator. He is currently attending Harvard, but has to take on some wrestling on the side. After all, Harvard has annual costs of about $87,000 a year, and Christopher Spratt trying to make some ends meet, perhaps trying to inflate his own ego at the same time, although rumor has it that that's starting to spread to other parts of his life. Apparently his grades are starting to slip, and he's starting to fall into the wrong crowds. Christopher Spratt in a bit of a daze, in a bit of a malaise. And I'm sure with his education he could come up with many more words that rhyme that would be applicable to his current fugue state. Nevertheless, he made it to the show. Congratulations for that. He is ready to wrestle, or at the very least ready to mock those in the front row and perhaps make an attempt at reversing his fortune so far this year, although given who his opponent is tonight, he may have his work cut out for him. Idly swatting at the sheets of paper held to him in the front row. Christopher Spratt taking a leisurely stroll around the ring.
Future failure of America right there.
Christopher Spratt about to enter the ring at long last, the long-awaited debut of his feet hitting the mat. And he decides not to. Okay. Well, Christopher Spratt, I'm going to bring up some fun facts about Harvard. Did you know Harvard University has a 3.2 acceptance rate? Although many claim that it is simply due to financial benefits that one may bypass the procedure, which leads one to reckon that Christopher Spratt may not be here for financial reasons after all, but simply to boost his own ego. Hence why his losing streak here at RCW has not gone the way that he would like.
I am not a dweeb! I am an intellect!
Local dweeb Christopher Spratt continuing his leisurely stroll around the ring, taking in the reactions of the crowd. We're on a bit of a time crunch here, Christopher Spratt. Can you please make your way to the ring, begin the match, really milking this moment for all it's worth? Perhaps he's grown a bit hesitant about actually beginning this fight. Christopher Spratt making eye contact with us, realizing that all eyes are in fact on him. He has to get in that ring sooner or later, or at the very least, formally resign. At least he has the good sense to wipe his shoes off on the apron. Christopher Spratt calmly entering the ring. Known as a bit of a technician. And he does enter a second gear when he enters the ring, but when the first gear is essentially 2 miles an hour, one has to wonder if that will be enough.
Into the ring, weighing 252 pounds, from Vega, Baja, Puerto Rico, the Punisher, Vega!
And if you want to talk about contrast, holy hell. Christopher Spratt's opponent tonight is the Punisher, Don Vega, with 27 years of experience, belt after belt around his waist. Don Vega is, statistically, the most winning man in Royal Crown Wrestling.
I can't understand the words coming out of
Needless to say, pitting this man up against Christopher Spratt, who is desperately trying to find a foothold, entering this ring in a feud state is a bit of a cruel twist of cosmic humor delivered by management. Nevertheless, the fans more than ready to witness Don Vega put Christopher Spratt in his place, which is to say 6 feet into the ground. Don Vega, known for his power bombs, his ability to obliterate the spines of his opponent, is an all-arounder, ready to throw some hands, dish out some slams, and prove once and for all that he is the man.
You know, it's funny that you took the time, and I'm flattered, to make that sign to put me over regardless of what you think of me, because your girls don't mean shit to me, first of all. Second of all, I love it. I love it.
Get fuck, you piece of shit!
Is that what you do? You like to suck the corn stick?
All your fucking time, Vega!
You like that corn stick, don't you? You took a lot of time.
Mother can't get put out of face!
This guy right here, he sucks corn. He sucks corn.
Nice try, numbnuts.
Numbnuts? Have you seen yourself in the mirror, guy? You look like the Keebler elf. Was that supposed to hurt me? I'll stay here all night long.
Is it true? What's up?
Oh, Lord. Looks like the energy of this audience has taken in favor of the underdog here. Despite his dismissive attitude, he is coming out blazing, choking on the bottom rope in the corner. Christopher Spratt taking it to Don Vega, strike to the back. Don Vega sent reeling, not even able to get his jacket off. Christopher Spratt essentially blindsiding him. Despite Hayden taking his own damn time getting down to the ring, he is not putting up with Don Vega doing the same. Bit of a double standard here. Continued strikes in the corner. Christopher Spratt going out of his way to try to keep Don Vega down and out of it. Quick 12-6 elbow to the back of the head. Don Vega really feeling the sting on that one. Don Vega trying to find a footing, trying to find his ground. But Christopher Spratt coming at him with strike after strike, blow after blow. Dazing Don Vega. Looks like Christopher Spratt has had a lot of rage boiling up within him. And he's finally taking it all out on Don Vega. He's out of his feud state, but Don Vega striking back. He's back in this one now. He's ready for a fight, for a brawl. And he is not the kind of man that you want to challenge. Clothesline on the rebound. Huge chop. Flattening Christopher Spratt on the mat, lariating out of the ring. Good gravy. Don Vega finally prepared to fight. And his first move is to knock Christopher Spratt clean out of competition. Christopher Spratt back into a dazed state. The pain shaking him back to reality, shaking him back to his cold, pathetic reality.
What are you laughing at? Do not laugh at this!
Christopher Spratt yelling at children now. As Don Vega stalks him from behind. Huge clubbing blow. I don't think Christopher Spratt, even with all of his learning, was able to grow eyes on the back of his head, and Don Vega taking advantage of that in his blind spot, launching him into the barricade. Don Vega is not a man that you want to get rough and tumble with, and he is more than happy to take it to Christopher Spratt after that blindside maneuver. Don Vega ready to continue his winning ways at Royal Crown Wrestling. Tossing Christopher Spratt back in the ring to settle this. Spratt trying to wave him off, rake to the eyes. Christopher Spratt, clever use, quick thinking.
That's true! education, you miscreant!
Precision strike to the arm to keep Don Vega down. Christopher Spratt does know his way around. I believe he is a biology major. He knows his way around the human body. He knows exactly which points to strike. He's not a man to be underestimated. That being said, Don Vega
True education!
is the favorite here for a reason. Christopher Spratt taking his time. Clearly got a lot on his mind, a lot of ego-driven decision-making here. That being said, the strikes have hit true repeatedly to Don Vega. Don Vega still trying to recover, still trying to get the initiative back. A very, very snug chin lock, so snug. It's basically doubling as a chokehold, constricting those blood vessels on the side of the neck. Distracted by the crowd, Christopher Spratt getting in his own head here. The chin lock coming loose as Don Vega struggles free. Back up to his feet. Back elbow to the gut. Don Vega winding up. Polish hammer to the gut there at the end. Ducking down for a back body drop kick from Christopher Spratt before going for a huge lariat. Both men fall to the mat, but Christopher Spratt going for a pin, getting a solid 2 count here. Mounted punches. Referee coming in close to make sure that those fists are open. Referee telling him to make his way out of that situation. Don Vega still struggling for air. Don Vega trying to relieve the pressure. And Christopher Spratt is repeatedly putting on him. Don Vega narrowly avoiding getting choked out on the ropes there, but Christopher Spratt right back at him with a precision hit to the jaw, but followed by a back elbow by Don Vega. Huge chop, excuse me. Trapped in the corner now. Christopher Spratt going at Don Vega with a snapmare. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, and Don Vega just hit the mat with a thump. Followed by a falling elbow, gets a 2 count. Christopher Spratt has been in control of this match for a hot minute now. Don Vega thoroughly dazed from the blind side that opened this match. Never able to get enough of an initiative to keep Spratt at bay, to really pull out the big maneuvers that he needs to really get the Vega bomb going, or whatever else he needs to pull out of his arsenal here. A shove back from Don Vega, really putting all of his strength into that one. Reverse atomic drop by Don Vega straight to the tailbone, followed by a running lariat. Huge splash on the mat. 2.5. Not enough. But Don Vega is certainly taking the advantage in this matchup. Christopher Spratt doesn't see him. Turning his back to his opponent on a regular basis. Don Vega more than happy to take advantage, trapping him in the corner.
Get him out the corner, let's go.
Irish whip across the ring. Christopher Spratt landing hard in the corner, but he gets a foot up, but it's cut by Don Vega.
Put it down! Put it down, I said!
Come on, say this.
Well, Don Vega puts it down. Oh my God, a fake out punch into a crisp DDT, spiking him head first into the mat, and this match is over. Jake the Snake would be proud of Don Vega's hard-hitting DDT, taking out Christopher Spratt once and for all here tonight. Don Vega really showing him who's boss. Christopher Spratt had the upper hand for a large portion of that contest, but Don Vega, as soon as he had control of himself, he had control of Christopher Spratt, and shortly afterwards, bing, bang, boom, boom, bop, bam, down went Spratt. Damn. Another win in the books for Vega. Still having a bit of a friendly quarrel with the fans in the audience who insist that he eats corn the long way, but nevertheless, dominant performance from Vega as soon as he was able to get control of that match after getting blindsided. A controversial figure, but nevertheless one that you cannot deny the sheer prowess of. Don Vega, ladies and gentlemen.